Welcome to orientation for Big Day of Giving 2024. In the description below, we've added helpful links to things such as the Big Day of Giving registration page, calendar, the nonprofit resources, and a link to the slides and the transcription for this presentation. Before we begin, I want to note that this orientation is specifically for organizations that are new to Big Day of Giving and/or people who are new team leads for a returning organization. All are welcome to watch, of course, but we have a different orientation available for folks who have participated in Big Day of Giving in past years who may not need the same level of information. During this orientation, we will cover who runs Big Day of Giving, which, by the way, we often shorten to BDOG, what is BDOG, eligibility and registration process, resources to run a successful BDOG campaign, how donations work during BDOG, and other important dates and deadlines. My name is Monica, and I will be your guide in this orientation, along with my colleagues Kathy, Vasey, Jasmine, and Alondra. We make up the Big Day of Giving team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation, which is the organization that coordinates Big Day of Giving. To say a bit more about this, I'll turn it over to Vasey.
Thanks, Monica. The Sacramento Region Community Foundation is a local nonprofit that has run Big Day of Giving since 2013 as part of our initiative to strengthen the capital area by strengthening the nonprofit sector in El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, and Yolo counties. We do that by supporting local nonprofits like yours to be most effective and by working with individuals, families, and businesses to grow their charitable giving and the impact of their philanthropy in the Sacramento region so we can all live in a more vibrant, more equitable community. Those partnerships, all of our partnerships, support Big Day of Giving and our other community-based work. To learn more about our philanthropic services, including how to start a nonprofit fund, to learn about our community leadership initiatives, and to register to be alerted of future grant opportunities that might be relevant to your work, as well as scholarships we offer, please visit our website at sacregcf.org. Now, our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation aren't the only folks behind Big Day of Giving. Our lead sponsor, Western Health Advantage, makes this effort possible, and without them, we couldn't facilitate this region-wide philanthropic effort, nor could we furnish the prizes that help you motivate your donors. So we are very, very grateful that the team at Western Health Advantage has returned again as Big Day of Giving's lead sponsor. They are truly helping our region's philanthropic spirit stay healthy. All right, so first things first, let's talk about what Big Day of Giving is. In a nutshell, Big Day of Giving is a 24-hour online giving event spanning El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, and Yolo counties that empowers donors to support local nonprofits via one easy-to-use website at bdog2024.org. Donations made on the website are tallied in real time, which creates an energy and an excitement that spurs generosity and community pride. Big Day of Giving 2024 will run from midnight to 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, May 2nd. Though some features will be available in advance of May 2nd, in fact, donors can start giving on April 18th during the early giving period. The fun and excitement is truly laser focused on that actual 24-hour giving day. So between now and then, organizations like yours that choose to participate will build or update their profiles on GivingEdge, which is what we call the Big Day of Giving website. Having all of those profiles in one searchable place makes it easy for donors to discover and give to local causes all in one centralized hub on May 2nd. Together, we rally the community to give on Big Day of Giving by working in tandem. So at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation, we execute a marketing campaign that spans the region. We also provide partners a marketing toolkit and relevant training opportunities so you can build excitement with your audiences about giving during Big Day of Giving as well. And that's how we encourage the whole region to come together to support local nonprofits on Big Day of Giving. And hey, it's a strategy that's worked. right? Over the past 11 years, thanks to our nonprofit partners' work and their donors' generosity, our community has raised $91.5 million for over 760 local nonprofits during Big Day of Giving. And 2023 was actually the biggest year yet. It was an incredible and inspiring 24 hours. So if you'd like to learn more about Big Day of Giving 2023 or any of our past Giving Days, which these lovely colorful photos represent, please look for our annual post-event reports at bdog2024.org. It's true, though, that participating in Big Day of Giving is about more than those aggregate headline numbers. For you and for your organization, it's an important opportunity to raise unrestricted funds, of course. It's also an opportunity to build your organization's capacity in other ways, especially if you take advantage of the resources and trainings offered by our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation. You can strengthen your donor relations, your board engagement, and your storytelling and marketing skills. It's an opportunity to meet and collaborate with staff and volunteers from other organizations, to build ties and community within our sector by connecting with one another. It's also an opportunity to connect with your donors and engage new ones, because Big Day of Giving is about putting nonprofits front and center in our region. So your work is elevated during those 24 hours and throughout the rest of the year too. So let's take a moment to clarify the difference between GivingEdge and Big Day of Giving. GivingEdge is the year-round website from the Sacramento Region Community Foundation that powers Big Day of Giving. Big Day of Giving is the 24-hour fundraising event that happens on GivingEdge. GivingEdge is actually a pretty cool community resource. It's a database where donors can learn about and give to nonprofits that serve the Sacramento region. You, as your nonprofit's representative, use GivingEdge to create or update a profile that informs the community about your work and collect donations to support your work year-round and, of course, on Big Day of Giving. Now, by the way, if you haven't been to GivingEdge, I recommend you pause this video and head over there now to look around. You can check out the search page and nonprofit profiles to see what it's like, because you'll be contributing to the database through your nonprofit profile. But you might be wondering, how do I get to GivingEdge? Next slide. All right, here's the trick. Both bigdayofgiving.org and givingedge.org take you to GivingEdge. It's the same website. The main URL, address, or domain that people use is bigdayofgiving.org, which is absolutely fine. Just know that when we say GivingEdge, we're referring to the website. When we say Big Day of Giving, we're referring to the once annual giving event that happens on that website. Now I'll turn it to Alondra to discuss the registration process for Big Day of Giving.
Thanks, Macy. So how do you register your nonprofit for Big Day of Giving? There are a few things to know which we'll discuss in the next few slides. You need to determine if your organization is eligible to have a profile on GivingEdge and consequently to participate in Big Day of Giving. In order to be eligible, your nonprofit must be a 501c3 nonprofit in good standing with the IRS and the state of California, including the Secretary of State, Department of Justice, and Franchise Tax Board. The Sacramento Region Community Foundation also requires that organizations be based in and serve the residents of El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, and/or Yolo counties. We no longer have the requirement stating that organizations must have been in existence for a certain number of years. However, we encourage people running newer organizations to consider their capacity when deciding if they are prepared to participate in Big Day of Giving. We try to make it as easy as possible, but running a Big Day of Giving campaign does require a bit of effort, so please keep that in mind when considering registration. We do allow fiscally sponsored organizations to participate as long as the sponsoring organization meets the first two bulletins listed here. If you're not sure about your fiscal sponsorship, just ask us by emailing us at bdog@sacregcf.org. Organizations are not eligible to participate in Big Day of Giving include schools and school-affiliated groups, house of worship, governmental organizations, private foundations, support organizations, and public public safety organizations. If you aren't sure if you are eligible, just ask us and we'll be happy to help. It is eligible to have a profile on GivingEdge. Good news, you can register for Big Day of Giving. There are different steps depending on whether or not your nonprofit already has a profile on GivingEdge or not. If your organization already has a GivingEdge profile, the steps on this slide show how to register for Big Day of Giving. 1. Visit bdog2024 and click Register. 2. Fill out the registration form and pay your organization's registration fee by January 19th. 3. Then start working on updates to your GivingEdge profile and submit them for approval before March 15th. You can continue to make edits after that. Don't worry. If your organization is eligible to have a GivingEdge profile and participate in Big Day of Giving, but does not yet have a GivingEdge profile, here's what you need to do. 1. Go to bigdayofgiving.org/bdog24, click Register, then request a profile. Fill out the information to request a GivingEdge profile, which we'll review to confirm your eligibility. Once you receive an email confirmation that your organization is eligible, return to bigdayofgiving.org/bdog24, click Register, and complete the registration form, and pay the registration fee. The deadline for this step is January 19th. Then create and submit your GivingEdge profile for approval before March 15th. Again, you can continue to make edits after that.
As Alondra mentioned, when you register for Big Day of Giving, you will be prompted to pay your organization's registration fee with a credit card. You will be immediately emailed a receipt. Registration fees are based on the size of your organization's annual operating budget, shown here. These fees help us manage the fundraising event and the website, as well as provide trainings, networking events, and other resources. During registration, you will also be asked to assign someone who will lead your campaign for your organization. It could be you. This person should stay up to date on important changes, deadlines, and upcoming events via our regular e-newsletter, The Bark, and in the Facebook Learning Community, links to which you can find in the description below this video, keeping the rest of your team informed on important information as needed. This person will also serve as the lead contact for your organization in communications with our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation. Because there are hundreds of organizations that participate in Big Day of Giving, and because we are a very small team, these lead contacts allow us to more efficiently communicate with all participants instead of having to contact multiple people at each organization. Once you submit your GivingEdge profile for review by the March 15th deadline at the latest, our GivingEdge coaches Jessica and Morgan will review your profile and contact your campaign lead if additional changes or updates are needed. If you have trouble creating or updating your profile, you can contact Jessica and Morgan at givingedge@sacregcf.org. They'll also be available for one-on-one check-ins in January through March that you can reserve through links in the calendar. If you'd like additional help navigating the GivingEdge system, we also have a separate video that shows a brief walkthrough of the platform and how to edit and submit your profile for review, as well as information in our Big Day of Giving nonprofit user guide. Those links are in the description. Next, I'll turn things over to Jasmine to talk about additional resources.
Thanks, Monica. For first-time participants, it may feel like there's a lot to learn about participating in Big Day of Giving. The best way to do it is to take advantage of the resources available to you as a BDOG participant and, importantly, to set realistic expectations for your first time participating. Big Day of Giving can be a great way to raise unrestricted funds, but raising money isn't the only way to have a successful Big Day of Giving. There are also important non-monetary ways to be successful on Big Day of Giving. Maybe for you, that means engaging new donors or increasing your social media presence. When you think about what a successful Big Day of Giving campaign looks to you, assess your staff and/or volunteers' bandwidth, if you aren't a one-person show, that is. Decide how much you want to take on as part of this campaign. We offer resources to help. Let's go over a few. The first two key resources are the Nonprofit User Guide and the 8-Week Work Plan. The User Guide is a regularly updated, searchable encyclopedia of Big Day of Giving information and tips. It's where we put everything there is to know about Big Day of Giving. The 8-Week Work Plan is a simple guide that walks through how to plan your campaign, starting 8 weeks before Big Day of Giving in the middle of March. You can also find these and more resources at www.bigdayofgiving.org/BDOG24 and click on Resources and For Nonprofits. Other resources that you can find from our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit include the registration page for the BARC e-newsletter, the official Big Day of Giving e-newsletter for nonprofit participants, which includes important information about BDOG opportunities and deadlines. Please make sure that, at the very least, your organization's lead contact is signed up to receive and stay in the loop. The link to our Facebook Learning Community, a space for you to ask questions and get tips, updates, and answers from other participants and the BDOG team. You'll also find a link to the Mentor page. BDOG mentors are experienced fundraisers and past BDOG participants who are passionate about helping other fundraisers succeed. On the Mentor page, you can find their email and reach out to them individually. They will also be hosting a series of Mentor coffee chats from January to April on a variety of different topics, also providing you a chance to ask them any questions in a group setting. We encourage you to reach out to them. In the BDOG calendar, you'll find links to join the voluntary office hours with the BDOG team and the GivingEdge coaches, as well as details about training sessions we'll hold from January through March to strengthen your organization's donor outreach, board engagement, marketing, and collaboration skills. These training sessions are led by topic experts. We'll share more details about these as they get closer. We also host regular happy hour networking events between January and April to give you a chance to connect with other nonprofit staff and volunteers. They're casual and fun. You can find details in the resources page alongside a smorgasbord of additional items we've created. In addition to all those resources, you also have access to the BDOG Marketing Toolkit, your one-stop shop for turnkey items to help you promote your participation in Big Day of Giving to your audiences. Available now are the BDOG2024 logos and save-the-date social media graphics. Coming soon in 2024 will be a full library of social media graphics, including non-English graphics, customizable social media graphics and print media files, ready-to-use templates for social media and email messages, and so much more. If there's something you'd like to see in the marketing toolkit, please email us and let us know. Another resource we offer is Cultivate, a program from the Sacramento Region Community Foundation for fundraisers in the Sacramento region who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Why is this important? Because to strengthen the Sacramento region, we must support the success of local nonprofit leaders and fundraisers, the very people who champion positive change in our community, as you know. But data from past Big Days of Giving reflect that nonprofits led by people of color typically receive less funding for their organizations, despite strong relationships in the communities they serve. We launched Cultivate during last year's Big Day of Giving and have since expanded the program to provide ongoing learning and support. If you are interested in getting involved in the spring session, which will provide additional support for participants in Big Day of Giving, please visit sacregcf.org/cultivate or look in the user guide for more information. Now I'll turn it over to Kathy.
Thanks, Jasmine. We will now talk briefly about how donations work during Big Day of Giving, as well as a variety of donor engagement features that are available through GivingEdge that you can take advantage of. Donors can make gifts that count for the event from Thursday, April 18 through midnight on Big Day of Giving, which is Thursday, May 2nd. This is the 2-week giving window for Big Day of Giving. There are 3 types of donations. The first and most common way for people to donate is with a credit card at bdog2024.org. The minimum donation size is $10, which we lowered from $15 thanks to guidance from you. The website accepts all major credit cards. Gifts made on the website are subject to a 5.2% fee. Some people believe incorrectly that we keep all the fee. That is not the case. 4.2% of that goes directly to credit card processing and website security. Only 1% goes to the foundation to help run the event. Donors are given the option to help offset the cost of fees by increasing their donation by 5.2%, and most do. If you have more questions about donation fees, visit bigdayofgiving.org/resources/fee. After online gifts, the most common gift is offline gifts, which are those you receive anywhere outside of GivingEdge, including checks, cash, or donations made through other websites or donation portals. You manually add them to your GivingEdge profile during Big Day of Giving to best capture your donors' generosity. More information about offline gifts is available in the Nonprofit User Guide. Finally, people with donor advised funds at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation and the YOLO Community Foundation can make gifts directly from their charitable funds to support your Big Day of Giving campaign via GivingEdge. These are automatically counted in your total. There are a variety of fun tools on GivingEdge that you can use to motivate your supporters to give. Before I get into these, I'll say again that it's not required for you to use any of these features if you do not have the capacity to coordinate them. But they are available for you if you are curious and want to give something new a try. The Nonprofit User Guide has more details about all of these tools, so head there to learn more. First, you have the ability to add a monetary goal on your GivingEdge profile. This is a simple way to inspire your supporters to help you meet it by giving. Another tool is matching funds. These are funds you secure in advance and use to match donations you receive during Big Day of Giving and list them on your GivingEdge profile. It can be a great incentive for donors to know that their gifts will be doubled or more when they make a donation to your nonprofit during Big Day of Giving. Peer-to-peer campaigns or fundraising pages, as we call them, are an opportunity for your supporters to fundraise on your behalf. It's the same idea as a jogathon or a Facebook fundraiser. Your supporters can build a fundraising page tied to your GivingEdge profile, set a goal, and ask their personal network to donate to your organization on their behalf. There will be a training in March to review how to create these pages on the website. And finally, throughout the day, on May 2nd, we'll award a variety of prizes to boost the gifts you receive from donors. We'll announce the complete list of prizes in early spring. Promoting this is a great way to encourage your donors to give. When else can their $10 gift suddenly boost by a $100 prize? Now I'll turn it over to Monica to go over the Big Day of Giving timeline.
Thanks, Kathy. I'll now quickly walk through what to expect to happen between now and May. To begin, I recommend heading to the nonprofit resource page and bookmarking the BDOG2024 calendar, which has all of the important dates, deadlines, and links you'll need to participate in BDOG events. Now let's go through what will be happening between now and Big Day of Giving. Although we recommend attending as many events as possible and using this to guide your work, only the items bolded in blue are required for participation. So between now and January, you will obviously want to make sure that you're registered for Big Day of Giving by the January 19th deadline and have started working on your GivingEdge profiles. We also recommend making a list of your current donors and engaging your social media audiences if this isn't something you do already. Although there are opportunities to solicit new donors on Big Day of Giving, your existing donors and supporters are an important part of your fundraising audience. You want to make sure that they hear from you more often than once a year to ask for donations. If you plan to hold some type of Giving Tuesday campaign, we recommend capturing those donors and continuing to engage with them throughout a variety of different mediums in the months leading up to Big Day of Giving. Tell them about your work and its impact. Inspire them with your activities. We will also have community office hours, GivingEdge office hours, and mentor coffee chats and networking happy hours to provide you opportunities to ask questions, connect, and learn from others. Remember, if you don't know where to begin, there's a lot of resources to turn to. Continue to work on adding and editing to your GivingEdge profile. We will also continue to have mentor coffee chats and happy hours every month through April if you need help or want to learn from others. As we mentioned earlier, we will also have trainings throughout January to March on different topics related to your organization's success on Big Day of Giving and year-round. Attending these trainings is not required, but we highly recommend it. This is around the time that you'll also want to start beginning to work on your plan to engage supporters and community and get them excited about your participation in Big Day of Giving. You can also consider reaching out to close partners and supporters and to solicit matching funds, but again, This is only something to do if you have the capacity to handle it. You can still run a very successful campaign without the use of matching funds. In March, you'll want to make sure that you finish up making all of the edits to your GivingEdge profile as they need to be submitted by March 15th. You'll also want to start looking at the 8-week work plan, which is a helpful tool to use in March and April to strategize for Big Day of Giving in the 2 months leading up to May 2nd. Part of the reason why Big Day of Giving is so powerful is because of the time-limited window that creates a sense of urgency for people who support your work in the community. And the work plan can help you use that to your organization's advantage. You'll also want to start reminding your board that Big Day of Giving is approaching and consider having them commit to an individual development plan or an IDP, which is a way for them to figure out how they can best help your organization be successful in Big Day of Giving. You can find a template for the IDP in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit. In April, you'll want to continue to follow the 8-week work plan and use it as your guide for planning donor engagement leading up to Big Day of Giving. You'll also want to remind donors that they can donate as early as April 18th during the early giving window. You can also encourage your staff, board members, volunteers, and donors to create fundraising pages, but remember this is an optional feature and is not required to run a successful campaign. As in other months, we will also continue to have mentor coffee chats, networking events, and community office hours. Before May 2nd, you'll also want to make sure that you have a contingency plan in place if something were to not go as planned. We are fully confident in our platform, but sometimes things go wrong. Technology fails, weather can cancel events, or global pandemics can foil our well thought out plans. We want to make sure that we have a backup plan to redirect donors and support in case things change. We will have a guide to contingency planning for the day available in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit. You'll also want to make sure to send out any last-minute reminders and get lots of rest. But the main thing to do is to remember to have fun. Big Day of Giving is a fun day where our community comes together to celebrate and uplift the important work that your organization does in the community. And don't forget to celebrate your hard work after the day. You earned it. Then thank everyone who supported your campaign with donations, energy, time, and expertise, and more. Finally, you'll want to make sure you keep an eye out for the e-check that will be sent to you no later than June 28th. Back to Kathy, who can say more on that.
Thanks, Monica. The foundation uses e-checks to distribute the money you made on Big Day of Giving via donations made on the website. E-checks are safe and secure and allow us to compile all of your donations, prizes, and additional incentive money you received during Big Day of Giving and send them efficiently in one check. You tell us who on your team should receive the e-check by submitting the email through the setting area on the back end of GivingEdge. Then, when the e-check is ready, that person will receive an email with a link to open the check. Once you do, you can print it and then deposit it just like you would a normal check. If you have any questions about this, check out the FAQs linked in the user guide while we work on getting the funds out to you as soon as possible. Remember, you will receive this no later than June 28th, 2024.
Okay, we are almost to the end, but before we close today, we have some final thoughts, tips, and reminders to share. There are a few important dates for Big Day of Giving 2024 that you need to know. January 19th is the last day to register for Big Day of Giving. March 15th is the deadline to complete all of your required GivingEdge profile edits and submit them for review to our GivingEdge team. April 18th is the first day that donors can make early gifts at bigdayofgiving.org, and you can start entering any offline gifts you receive. And of course, May 2nd is Big Day of Giving. Please get ready for a fun day and be sure to add any final offline gifts you receive before 11:59 p.m. that night to have them reflected in your total tally. Of course, you can check out the full Big Day of Giving calendar for details and registration links in the nonprofit resources. Also, please remember that if you have any questions, there are lots of places you can turn. You can ask a Big Day of Giving mentor, you can look in the user guide and other resources we have in the nonprofit resources page, you can get ideas from the Facebook Learning community, or of course, email our Sacramento Region Community Foundation team at bdog@sacregcf.org. We want to reiterate, because we hear some confusion about it now and again, that GivingEdge is a year-round resource where donors can learn about and donate to nonprofits anytime, not just on Big Day of Giving. For example, many donors use the platform to give during Giving Tuesday as well. Because of this, you want to be sure that you keep your profile fresh throughout the year. You also don't want to start asking your donors to donate for Big Day of Giving too early, because only gifts made between April 18th and Big Day of Giving on Thursday, May 2nd will count toward your Big Day of Giving total. If you have any questions about Big Day of Giving or your nonprofit's participation in Big Day of Giving, our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation is so happy and eager to answer them. Because of the large number of participants in Big Day of Giving, though, we aren't able to accept phone calls or visits to our office regarding Big Day of Giving. We're a small team, but we're very good at responding via email, so please send us a message at bdog@sacregcf.org, and we'll be sure to respond quickly. Of course, you can also check the nonprofit user guide and other resources in the nonprofit resources section for helpful information as well. And that's that. Thank you all so much for watching this orientation and for your interest in being part of Big Day of Giving 2024. And of course, for all the work you do in the community every day of the year. From all of us, this whole smiling crew at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation, I'll say we are so excited to work with you for Big Day of Giving 2024. And again, thank you for being part of the program.